Today I'm going to create and sew an outfit inspired by something that I know truly nothing about, a video game. Despite really wanting to play video games and wishing that I liked them more than I do, I just don't. My children have been playing Red Dead Redemption, and one day they brought me over and said, "Mom, I think you will like this game." They are always trying to get me to engage with video games, and unfortunately it's just not really my thing. But when I saw this game, I was really interested. The graphics and the whole world and the concept and the outfits in particular really sucked me in like a moth to the flame. I have not been this drawn to a video game since playing Pong with my brother. Now, with that said, I didn't play with them, nor did I really watch it, but when cool scenes come up or neat characters come up, they will definitely bring me in to take a peek. And I did do a little bit of online searching just to look at different outfits. Those people are snazzy ass dressers. So I want to create an outfit that reminds me of Red Dead Redemption. I did a little online research, found a few different outfits that I thought were really neat that I kind of wanted to use as a jumping off point. And then I found some patterns online as well from Etsy. Look at this. It is so cute. It is called Buckaroo Bobbins. I think that is the name of the company making these patterns. And it is like reading a newspaper. This gave me another huge childhood flashback to when I was a little girl and I used to read the newspaper with my grandfather. Now, he would actually read the newspaper and I would read the funnies and I would play with Silly Putty, and you know, it definitely was something I did all the time over his house. I love how this project is kind of triggering my inner child and really making me think of those times that I spent with my brother and my grandfather, who unfortunately have both passed away now. So holding on to those memories are really near and dear to my heart. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to create a completely wacky outfit that I think would be right in line with the setting of this world. I also got this folkwear pattern with women's riding pants. It looks like you're wearing a skirt when your legs are shut, but when you open your legs to mount a horse, they're pants. So practical, sneaky, comfortable. Never made anything like this before. Completely interested in doing so. And I want to use all sorts of leftover fabric scraps that I have and really put something together that is very unique, eye-catching, funky, fun, practical-ish, and then just kind of reminiscent of this time period. I'm ready to kind of jump in and get started. I'm going to lay out all of these pattern pieces, but first I'm gonna read my newspaper, then I'm gonna cut out all the patterns, and we'll see what I can come up with. I haven't gotten too far with the project yet. I'm struggling right now. I kind of feel like a fish in a frozen pond. That's how fast I'm able to move. And I'm finding the pattern a little challenging. I am doing things I've never done before, like these pockets. I don't know what they're called. Let me see if it, I don't know if it says. It just says pockets. But I know that they're a special kind. I know each kind of pocket has its own name. I think for my first time, good enough. And I honestly think that there's something wrong with the pattern because it doesn't even expect you to nail the landing. They mentioned that if you get puckers here on either end, to just put little leather arrows on it as decoration. I don't have little leather arrows, nor would I know how to attach little leather arrows. And I do like that idea from a Western cowboy standpoint. I think that's a funny little aside to have written there right in the directions. I'm sure that I can find a video on YouTube that shows me how to do these kinds of pockets, probably in a better way, but I have one left to do. I have one to do on this side. I'm gonna do it in the opposite color, so I'm gonna have the striped fabric over here on this pocket. I'm gonna show you what I did. I wanted to check in because I'm about midway through the project. I've almost completely finished the vest here. I just have some top stitching to do, which I haven't been able to, only because I ran out of this rust-colored thread. So as soon as I get that, I'll be able to finish the top stitching on this one particular panel, and then the vest should pretty much be done. I think actually the only other thing I might need to do is find a snap somewhere in my house and attach it to this part up here. I unfortunately didn't put the top button high enough, and there's a slight little flap in here. Let me show you what I mean. Overall, I think the vest turned out cute, yet somehow I feel relatively underwhelmed by it. I don't know what I'm expecting. I guess to be transported into that world, but that might require the entire outfit. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of accessorizing that's going to contribute to whether or not I feel like this project is a success or a failure. So here is that flap. Can you see it? It's too flappy, and we need it to be tight. So I'll probably search my house for a snap or steal one off of a garment that I don't wear that often and just put that there, and maybe even down here too. It's kind of driving me nuts, but I don't like the little parting of ways. It might change when I'm wearing my gunslinging belt. I don't know the technical terms for all of these pieces, so I'm just gonna call it my gun belt and my holster, which I actually invested in one that I'm kind of excited about, and I hope that it lives up to my expectations when it arrives. But that honestly might end up covering this whole portion here, which is gonna be slightly unfortunate because I am super into these pockets that I've created. So if these get covered up, that'll be a little sad. In the meantime, I am gonna start working on these riding pants. I already cut out all of the fabric. Now I just have to stitch the pieces together. So hopefully I'll like these pants enough to be able to wear them on their own. Might be super cute with like just a simple white tank top tucked into it. And I think overall it's gonna really have the appearance of a skirt versus pants. So, you know, just kind of be like a high-waisted long skirt, and that's right up my alley. So I'm gonna get started and show you some of the progress along the way. Okay, let's break this down piece by piece. So the movie prop. I had this idea about having a locket, and actually I had a whole story in my mind for the reveal, which didn't really work out. We were supposed to go to 3 different locations to film the whole story and have it play out. And I was basically gonna be rescuing my daughter, finding my missing daughter. But we ended up not being able to go to the 3rd location, which is where she was going to be when I found her. So I just kind of used the footage that I was able to get in the day that we filmed it and put something together that's just kind of random imagery. All of my reveals thus far have kind of been random imagery, and I keep trying to take it up to the next notch and have a bit more storytelling. I mean, clearly I am kind of telling a story in most of the reveals, but it's not a very linear story. It's a little more just subconscious, free-flowing, you know, and it's up for interpretation. There's nothing concrete with anything that I'm kind of representing in the reveals. And one of my goals for this year, which feels really far away from me at this point, is to create more concrete storytelling reveals, little mini movies, if you will. And if anything, this year I have been so distracted and overwhelmed with things going on in my personal life that I just haven't had a lot of time to devote to YouTube, which feels a little scary for me, but at the same time, you know, it's not like I'm a full-time professional YouTuber. This is just a hobby of mine, and if other stuff has to get done, other stuff has to get done. That was a rant. Let's get back to the movie prop. So this locket concept. I was finding all these beautiful vintage lockets on Etsy. Of course, they were like $300, $400. I don't have that kind of cash for a locket. So I saw the one that had kind of like the double sides. I thought, this is neat. And I taught myself several months ago how to use resin, some kind of epoxy resin. I forget all of the technical terms. I always forget those things. But anyway, the concept and the practicality, the skill set was something that I did remember. So I whipped up some epoxy, I rummaged through some of the supplies that I had. I found something that's kind of comparable. I'm not completely happy with it, although I do love the coasters that I've made. And that's actually what that other video was about. I was making coasters. And when I got these pictures of my daughter, the one that I love is kind of not very, what's the word? Kind of not very dark and light. There's not a lot of contrast. It's very faded. It's very washed out. And it was my favorite image. I thought it was the most authentic to seeming kind of old-fashioned, but it wasn't translating. I have a really, you know, rinky-dink printer, and the quality of the image that I made wasn't that good. And by the time you put the epoxy over it, or the resin rather, it kind of, you know, mutes it even further. So the favorite photograph of mine, I couldn't really end up using. But that other shot of her kind of holding the hat, and the reason she's holding her hat in most of the shots is because, you know, it's not fit to her head. It's not like a high quality hat, so it's one size fits all, and it was just blowing off the entire time we were doing the photo shoot. It was so windy, and the fear was that it would land in the water. So she was holding on to it for dear life. At one point it blew off and she caught it in midair, but in the process she literally like punched me in the face and just clawed my face. So by the time we were done that photo shoot, I looked like Wolverine had attacked me. Anyway, I had fun on that photo shoot. That was one of the highlights of making this entire video. So there we go. That addresses the prop. Now let's talk a little bit about the clothing. I really did struggle through creating the vest. I already mentioned that, but you know, it turned out. The only thing is that like, I'm not a huge fan. I think it works, and actually my oldest daughter is obsessed with it, and it pretty much fits her, so I'm just gonna give it to her, which makes me really happy. I don't really like generating things and then not having a use for them. So she's going to inherit that vest. And for the pants, now when I stand up, I don't know, I'm sure my head's gonna be cut off here, but when I made the pants, initially they were so tight that I could barely button them, and now they are loose, you know, and I guess that's what happens. The fabric stretches out, and I feel like the concept is very fun. If you go ahead and unbutton every single button here, which was not fun to make, by the way. If you unbutton that, let me stand up again. But so if you unbutton all of these, the idea is, see, I can't do it. There we go. I'm not going all the way down my leg though, which is too much. This flaps over, and then you attach these to here, and it covers over here. Oh gosh, this isn't even a good, you're not getting any visual from this. But it covers this and it becomes a skirt. Now I pretty much only like these as pants. And if they fit me, now I have to button them up again. I do like these brass buttons, but they're sharp. And all of my nails have little like cuts and grooves in them now. Like my nails have become serrated knives. So maybe that's cool from a self-protection standpoint, but hopefully I won't have to utilize my serrated knife nails on anybody. I'm not looking for a fight, despite what it seemed like in my reveal. But anyway, as pants, they're kind of cool. I'm bummed that they're a bit big now. I do like my stuff to be pretty like cinched. It's fine if it's big on the bottom as long as it fits me properly in the waist. And like I said, when I made these originally, I had to be like and suck in to just put them on. And I was like, okay, this is okay once they're on, you know, just don't sit down a lot. But they really, really loosened up. So maybe I can wash and dry them. I don't know, we'll see what happens. I don't know how much I'm gonna wear the pants, if I'm being honest. Maybe it needs the right kind of top. I mean, you know, like I don't really mind having a t-shirt tucked into it, but they are kind of big and they're also kind of loud. And funny aside here, if you watched my last video where I made a riding jacket and I went to the horse farm and I rode the horse that I always ride, his name is Chance. He's a super jerk. I scared him. So I showed up in my complete outfit, decked out, going to horseback riding lessons. I did not warn my instructor either. I just showed up like that and she's like, what do you need? Like, we'll clear the cows out so you can film. Thank you. She tolerates my crap so much. And you know, there's just like random other strangers there taking lessons and I feel like a jackass, but I try to just ignore that and keep going. And I scared my horse so much. He was absolutely deathly afraid of me. He was making these very funny noises. He broke his harness and started running away. And of course, he was not cooperative when we were filming. You know, I fed him treats, I brushed him, I talked to him, I reassured him. I'm like, you know me. What is it about this outfit that's freaking you out? Is it the gun? It's fake, you know? Is it the color? We couldn't figure out exactly what it was, but he was super spooked about whatever I was doing. And I ended up having to use a different horse. And this horse was amazing. He cooperated. It was not a problem at all. And I think moving forward, I'm just going to use him next time I have to film a reveal on a horse. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. It's like each time I go and do a reveal on the horse farm, something new happens. I encounter like a new experience with one of the horses. And, you know, I guess it's good. It's building up my repertoire of horse behavior, if you will. But I thought that was hilarious, and it was really cracking up my horse instructor. She could not understand why he was so scared of me all of a sudden. But that brings me to the gun, which I just referenced a second ago. This gun is beautiful. I love it. It's completely fake. It does not fire. It's not a cap gun. It's just a replica. And I am now obsessed with this company. I will link them below. I completely forget the name. It doesn't work up here. Not for names anyway, not anymore. And they have so many beautiful replicas, and there's a super cool shotgun. I want that next. I mean, why am I spending money on this? I don't know. Because it looks cool, I guess, because I like collecting beautiful objects. I would love to learn how to shoot a rifle, a gun, a thing. I don't even know what they're don't even know the technical terms between the different kinds of weapons. That's how uneducated I am when it comes to weapons in general. But yeah, I would love to take lessons, and I want to learn how to shoot well, and I want to learn how to, you know, this guy, bow and arrow. I love these skills. So, okay, well, I love the idea of these skills because clearly I don't have them, and I'm not even close to acquiring them. But the idea of maybe one day being able to do all of these things really excites me. I felt like the reveal should have been better. It's good enough. I'm looking to scratch this itch, people, that I cannot scratch until someone invites me to be a star in an old-timey movie with amazing cinematography, and you know, I'm never gonna scratch that itch. I'm never gonna know what it feels like, but I'm trying my best to get there on my own with limited skills and financial resources and ideas. So I'm doing the best I can, and I guess I would say most of the time I'm having fun along the way. I do really appreciate how all of my clothes that I was wearing smell crazy of wood smoke. As you know, I'm obsessed with fires, and my wood burning stove, you know, it contains everything, so I don't really get to hear the crackle. I don't get to smell the smoke unless I go outside a little bit. Sometimes it comes in through the window. We have to open the window when we're using the wood burning stove. But it was just great to just like be there right by the fire. It was in my eyes for most of it. If you see, like, a lot of times in the reveal, my eyes are shut because they're just like tearing, and I'm in so much pain because I'm not minding the wind, adjusting myself in relation to the fire and the wind, mostly because if I turn around in most other sections of that little area we were in the woods and the campsite, you would see my car, you would see the street. I mean, we really weren't that deep back, so there were plenty of distracting features that would take you out of a wilderness setting, and we had to avoid those. Overall, you know, I'm happy this project is done, and part of me is questioning what the hell am I doing with my life, and why did I just spend, you know, so much time over the last month dedicating to this video? So I guess that leads me to my final thoughts here. I love being creative, and I love having the opportunity to create, and it's very challenging to balance that with working a full-time job and raising and homeschooling children, and you know, X, Y, and Z, you name it, and I'm sure most of you can relate. So if there was any way that I could gain your support and slowly, or actually quickly, because quickly would be ideal, grow this channel into something where I could profit from it, and it could be, you know, less of a hobby, more of a career, I would really appreciate it. So if you could like and subscribe to this channel, it would really mean the world to me. Like, no joke, I would freak the f out. So your support is greatly appreciated. To all the people who have come back and tuned in again and again, I freaking love you. It's awesome. Please leave comments. I love interacting with you. I love hearing your feedback. I love getting ideas from you. I really would love to I said love too many times. I would really like to foster this little community and just connect with like-minded individuals. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing YouTube. But anyway, I hope to come up with a new project soon. I hope to have enough time to accomplish it, and I hope to love the outcome, and I hope to see you again. And now I just said hope too many times. So I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.